Following dialogues with the EU Commission and the national consumer protection authorities, 16 major airlines have committed themselves to providing passengers with better information on cancelled flights and to granting them timely reimbursements. It's a good news for consumers that the airlines have cooperated during the dialogue and committed themselves to respect air passenger rights and improve their communication, said EU Justice Commissioner Didier Reynders. In the early stages of the pandemic, some airlines suggested vouchers to passengers. In doing so, they violated EU consumer protection regulations, which was unacceptable. I am pleased that most of them are ready to pay out these vouchers after our joint action, he said. And EU Transport Commissioner Adina Vălean added, all airlines concerned have committed to catching up on the reimbursement arrears and to reimburse passengers within 7 days as required by EU law. The main objective of the measures was achieved. We wanted to ensure that the airlines make repayments promptly in the event of cancelled flights so that passengers can rely on the air traffic again. The Commission warned the Consumer Protection Cooperation, the CPC authorities responsible for consumer protection and the cooperation in December 2020, that they were dealing with the cancellation and reimbursement procedures of several airlines in light of the COVID-19 pandemic, and the authorities should deal with them. Following the dialogues, the airlines made the following commitments. The remaining reimbursement backlog that has been, they say the vast majority of cases has been resolved, and the passengers will be reimbursed within 7 days in accordance with the EU law. I just believe him for now. Passengers are more clearly informed about their passenger rights when an airline cancels a flight. Passengers' various options in the event of airline cancellations, rerouting, reimbursements, and, if offered by the airline, reimbursements in the form of a voucher, will be the same on the airline's websites and in their emails and other communications, and will be visible to the passengers. And in their communication with passengers, the airlines will be clear between cancellations by the airline and the resulting legal claims of the passenger, and the cancellations by the passenger and any contractual rights that the passenger may have in these cases under the airline's conditions of carriage, because they might be different. And vouchers can only be given to passengers if they expressly decide to do so. All 16 airlines, with the exception of Iberia and Wizz Air, have promised that unused vouchers that were suggested to passengers at the beginning of the pandemic can be paid out at the passenger's request. Passengers who have booked their flight through an intermediary and have difficulty obtaining a refund from them can contact the airline directly and request a direct refund. Airlines are expected to provide passengers with information on this option and the requirements for applying for direct refund on their websites. The Consumer Protection Cooperation Network, the CPC network, will now complete its dialogues with all airlines and closely monitor whether the commitments are properly implemented. National authorities will decide how to deal with the outstanding issue of non-refundable vouchers that were suggested to consumers in the early stages of the pandemic. The CPC network will also share information on ongoing investigations by its members into possible unfair practices by certain intermediaries, in particular how the intermediaries inform consumers of the terms and fees for their services. As it is still difficult for consumers to get refunds, the Commission drew attention to this situation and issued a warning in December 2020, following a warning from the European Consumer Association BEUC. In February 2021, the CPC network, led by 6 coordinating authorities from Belgium, Germany, Greece, Italy, Spain and Sweden, with the support of the European Commission, requested information from the 16 airlines that were most frequently cited in consumer complaints. The following airlines took part in the dialogues: Aegean Airlines, Air France, Alitalia, Austrian Airlines, British Airways, Brussels Airlines, EasyJet, Eurowings, Iberia, KLM, Lufthansa, Norwegian, Ryanair, TAP, Vueling, and Wizz Air. This is the most comprehensive action in the history of the CPC network and the first action based on a warning from the Commission. This warning was triggered by external warnings, as I said, from the BEUC and national consumer associations, as well as numerous complaints received by the Commission, the European consumer centers, and the national authorities about the way in which airlines respond to cancellations due to the COVID-19 pandemic and, of course, the related reimbursements. The CPC action was based on the results of a survey launched earlier this year to collect data on airline cancellation practices related to a certain regulation on passenger rights and a directive on unfair commercial practices. Flights booked as part of a package tour were not affected by this measure. And I'll see you in my next video. Bis gleich.